The crash landing the transport ship screamed through Kepler 442b's atmosphere like a dying star, its hull glowing white-hot against the alien sky. Lieutenant Jake Morrison gripped his crash harness as the emergency lights bathed everything in hellish red. Through the viewport, he watched the ship's wing tear away, spinning into the clouds below. Brace for impact. Captain Williams shouted over the shrieking alarms. Jake's world exploded into chaos. Metal screamed, sparks flew, and gravity became his enemy. The ship hit the ground with the force of a meteor, carving a burning trench through purple vegetation that looked like crystal trees. When the world stopped spinning, Jake found himself hanging upside down, blood trickling from a gash on his forehead. The silence was deafening after the crash. Jake unbuckled himself and dropped to what used to be the ceiling. His left arm hung useless, probably broken, and his ribs felt like someone had used them for target practice. Around him, the wreckage told its own story: twisted metal, shattered displays, and the acrid smell of burnt electronics. Williams? Rodriguez? Anyone? His voice echoed in the empty hull. No response. He was alone on an alien world, wounded and stranded. Jake stumbled through the wreckage, salvaging what he could. Emergency rations, a medical kit, and his sidearm. Not much for survival on an unknown planet. The ship's distress beacon was dead, crushed under a collapsed bulkhead. No rescue was coming. Outside the ship, Kepler 442b was beautiful in a terrifying way. The sky was a deep purple, painted with twin suns that cast everything in golden light. The crystal trees chimed softly in the alien breeze, their translucent branches catching light like prisms. In the distance, mountain ranges stretched toward the horizon like sleeping giants. But beauty didn't make the planet less dangerous. Jake's scanner picked up strange energy readings and movement in the forest. He wasn't alone here, and whatever lived on this world might not appreciate unexpected visitors. As night fell, the temperature dropped rapidly. Jake huddled in the ship's emergency shelter, trying to ignore the pain in his arm and the growing certainty that he was going to die. Here, the medical kit could only do so much for his injuries, and without proper treatment, infection would finish what the crash had started. That's when he heard it. Footsteps on metal. Something was moving through the wreckage outside his shelter. Jake grabbed his weapon with his good hand, heart pounding as shadows moved past the transparent walls. Whatever was out there was big, and it was coming closer. The footsteps stopped right outside his shelter. Jake held his breath, finger on the trigger, waiting for whatever alien predator had found him. But when the shelter's entrance hissed open, what stepped inside wasn't a monster. It was something far more unexpected. The healer's touch, alien warrior, who entered Jake's shelter, stood nearly 7 feet tall, with skin that shimmered like liquid silver under the emergency lights. Her face was angular and fierce, with large eyes that glowed a soft blue in the darkness. She wore armor that seemed to flow like water, adapting to her movements with an organic grace that human technology couldn't match. Jake raised his weapon, but his broken arm betrayed him. Pain shot through his shoulder, and the gun clattered to the floor. The alien warrior watched him with those luminous eyes, tilting her head as if studying a curious specimen. "Human," she said in perfect English, her voice melodic despite its alien cadence. "You are injured." Jake stared in shock. You ... You can speak my language? We have been watching your species for some time. I am Zareth of the Valian Healer caste. Your pain calls to me." She knelt beside him, her movements fluid and predatory, despite her words of healing. "Stay back," Jake managed, though his voice lacked conviction. The alien's presence filled the small shelter with an energy he couldn't understand. Zareth ignored his warning, her hands hovering over his broken arm. "You humans are so fragile, yet so resilient. Your ship fell from the sky like a burning star, and still you fight. Her fingers began to glow with a soft, warm light. The moment she touched his arm, Jake felt something incredible. The pain didn't just fade. It transformed, becoming something else entirely. Warmth spread through his body like liquid sunlight, and he watched in amazement as his broken bones knitted themselves back together under her touch. "How?" he whispered. "My people are born with the gift of mending," Zareth explained, her hands moving to the gash on his forehead. "We can heal. Flesh, bone, and spirit, but there is always a price." "What kind of price?" Her glowing eyes met his. "A bond forms between healer and healed. Your life essence becomes known to me, as mine becomes known to you. We are connected now. Human Jake Morrison." Jake's eyes widened. "How do you know my name?" "I can feel your thoughts, your memories, your heart. The healing creates a bridge between souls." She finished mending his wounds and sat back on her heels. "Among my people, such a bond is sacred. You are no longer just human to me." The implication of her words hit him like a physical blow. "What are you saying?" "In saving your life, I have claimed it. You belong to me now as I belong to you. This is the way of the Valian." Jake struggled to process what was happening. Minutes ago, he was dying alone on an alien world. Now this incredible warrior had not only saved his life, but claimed some kind of mystical connection to him. "I didn't ask for this." "The bond does not require permission," Zareth said simply. "It simply is. Your heart beats in rhythm with mine now. Can you not feel it?" As she spoke, Jake realized he could feel something, a warmth in his chest, a presence in his mind that wasn't his own. It was alien yet oddly comforting, like finding shelter in a storm. "This is insane," he muttered. Zara single quotes smiled, revealing sharp canine teeth. "Your species has a saying, love makes us do crazy things. Perhaps this is simply love of a different kind." Understanding the bond over the next few days, Jake learned what it meant to be bonded to a Valian warrior. Zara H. rarely left his side, watching over him with an intensity that was both protective and possessive. She brought him food from the eye. Alien forest, fruits that tasted like starlight, and water that sparkled with natural minerals. "Tell me about your people," Jake said one evening, as they sat by a fire she had made without matches or technology, simply by willing flame into existence. "The Valian Empire spans 12 solar systems," Zareth began, her voice taking on a formal tone. "We are divided into castes, warriors, healers, builders, and seers. I am both warrior and healer, a rare combination that makes me valuable to my clan. And this bonding thing, is it common?" Her expression grew serious. "It happens. Perhaps once in 1,000 healings. The souls must be compatible, complementary. Your human spirit called to something deep within me the moment I touched your broken form." Jake poked at the fire with a stick, trying to understand. "So what happens now? Do I become some kind of alien slave?" Zareth's eyes flashed dangerously. "You misunderstand the bond, human. It is not slavery. It is partnership. Two souls joining to become something greater than either could be alone. In your language, you might call it marriage." Jake nearly dropped his stick. "Marriage? I barely know you." "You know me better than any being in the universe," she countered. "Through the bond, I have shared my essence with you. You have felt my memories, my emotions, my deepest thoughts. How many of your human marriages can claim such intimacy?" As she spoke, Jake realized she was right. He could sense things about her. Her fierce loyalty to her people, her loneliness as a rare dual-caste Valian, her secret love of human poetry she had learned while studying their species. The knowledge hadn't come through words, but through the strange connection she had created. "Your people won't accept a human," Jake pointed out. Some will resist, Zareth admitted. But the bond is sacred law. Once formed, it cannot be broken except by death. My clan will have no choice but to accept you as one of their own. And if I refuse? Her expression grew sad. The bond works both ways, Jake Morrison. You have felt my essence, but I have felt yours. Your loneliness, your courage, your deep capacity for love. These things have marked me as surely as my healing has changed you. Neither of us can return to what we were before. Jake felt the truth of her words in his bones. Even now, sitting beside this alien warrior on a distant world, he felt more at home than he ever had on Earth. The connection between them hummed with warmth and possibility. What would I have to do? He asked quietly. Come with me to my homeworld. Stand before the clan leaders and declare your acceptance of the bond. Prove yourself worthy of a Valian warrior's heart. And then? Zareth smiled, and Jake felt his heart skip a beat. Then we explore the universe together, as partners, as equals, as bonded souls. Your human ingenuity combined with Valian technology could change both our civilizations. Jake looked up at the alien stars wheeling overhead and felt the bond between them pulse with quiet strength. Maybe this wasn't the life he had planned, but it was the life that had the challenge 3 days later a Valian ship descended from. The purple sky like a falling star. Jake watched from beside Zareth as the sleek vessel landed near the crash site, its hull shifting colors like liquid metal. Warriors emerged wearing armor similar to Zareth's, but somehow more intimidating, their movements precise and deadly. My hunting party, Zareth explained, her hand finding Jake's. They have come to retrieve me. The lead warrior approached them, his armor gleaming gold instead of silver. His eyes fixed on Jake with obvious disgust. Zareth of the Twin Gifts, you have been gone too long. The clan leaders grow concerned. Greetings, Kethvar, Zareth replied formally. I have fulfilled my mission and more. This human has become bonded to me through the healing arts. Kethvar's expression grew thunderous. You bonded with this creature? I bonded with a warrior who survived what killed his companions, who faced death with courage, who carries within him the strength to bridge our two peoples. Zareth's voice carried dangerous undertones. The clan will never accept this abomination, Kethvar spat. Kill the human and be done with this madness. Jake felt Zareth tense beside him, her hand moving to the weapon at her side. The bond is sacred law, Kethvar. You know this. Any who harm my bonded mate harm me directly. Then perhaps you both need to face the clan's judgment, Kethvar said coldly. He gestured to his warriors, who began to surround Jake and Zareth. Jake stepped forward, surprising everyone, including himself. If there's going to be judgment, I want to understand what I'm being judged for. What exactly does this bond mean to your people? Kethvar looked at him as if he were an insect. The bond creates family ties, human. It means you would become clan, with all the rights and responsibilities that entails. It means your offspring would carry Valian blood. It means dishonor to our lineage. And if I could prove my worth, Jake pressed, what then? There is no proof you could offer that would make you worthy of the trial of 3 strengths. Zareth interrupted suddenly. It is ancient law. Any who would join a clan through bonding may demand the trial. Kethvar's eyes narrowed. That law has not been invoked in centuries. Because it has not been needed in centuries. But the law stands. Zareth looked at Jake. Are you certain? The trial tests mind, body, and spirit. Many Valian fail it. Jake felt the bond between them pulse with warmth and strength. Through it, he could sense Zareth's faith in him, her belief that he could succeed where others might. Fail. What do I have to do? 3 challenges, Kethvar said reluctantly. First, you must demonstrate mental prowess by solving the maze of infinite paths. Second, you must prove physical courage by surviving the pit of shadows. Third, you must show spiritual strength by walking the bridge of truth. And if I succeed, then even I must acknowledge your right to join our clan. Kethver admitted grudgingly. Jake looked at Zareth, seeing both fear and hope in her luminous eyes. The bond between them sang, with possibility and danger in equal measure. He thought of his old life, the loneliness, the endless void of space, the feeling of being just another cog in humanity's great machine. Then he thought of what he could have with Zareth: adventure, purpose, a love that transcended species and worlds. I accept the trial, he said firmly. Kethver smiled, but it was not a pleasant expression. Very well, human. We shall see if your courage matches your arrogance. Prepare yourself for tests that will either make you clan or destroy you completely. As they boarded the Valian ship, Jake felt the weight of destiny settling on his shoulders. He was about to face challenges designed to test the limits of an alien warrior race. But he wasn't facing them alone. The bond with Zareth would guide him, strengthen him, and maybe, just maybe, help him prove that human determination could overcome any obstacle. The truth revealed the Valian homeworld was a marvel that took Jake's breath away. Cities of living crystal grew from the ground like enormous flowers, their surfaces pulsing with bioluminescent patterns. The sky was a canvas of swirling colors that changed with the planet's 3 moons, and the air itself seemed to hum with energy. But Jake had no time to admire the beauty. The trials awaited. The first challenge, a maze of infinite paths, was a holographic labyrinth that changed with each step. Where Valian warriors relied on instinct and tradition, Jake used human logic and pattern recognition. He mapped the maze's algorithms, finding the mathematical sequence that governed its shifts. What should have taken hours took him 30 minutes. The second trial, the Pit of Shadows, was a combat arena where he faced holographic versions of the clan's greatest enemies. Jake's human training in asymmetric warfare proved invaluable. Instead of meeting force with force, like a Valian would, he used cunning, misdirection, and adaptability. He turned the enemy's strengths against them, surviving through strategy, rather than raw power. But the third trial was different. The Bridge of Truth was a span of crystalline energy that read the soul of anyone who crossed it. Lies, deception, hidden motives, all would be revealed and punished with dissolution. This is where most fail, Zareth told him as they stood before the bridge. It strips away all pretense, all masks. You must walk across as you truly are, with no hidden thoughts or false intentions. Jake looked at the bridge, then at the assembled clan leaders watching from the far side. He could feel their skepticism, their certainty that he would fail. But he could also feel Zareth's hand in his, warm and strong and trusting. What if they don't like what they see? He asked. Then we face whatever comes together, she replied. Jake stepped onto the bridge. Immediately, energy coursed through him, painful and invasive. His thoughts, his memories, his deepest fears and hopes were laid bare for all to see. The clan leaders would witness everything: his loneliness on Earth, his fear of inadequacy, his desperate desire to find somewhere he belonged. But they would also see his courage, his loyalty, his capacity for love that transcended species and worlds. They would see how he had thrown himself into danger to save his crew, how he had faced an alien world with determination instead of despair, how he looked at Zareth not as a monster or an exotic prize, but as a partner worthy of respect and devotion. Halfway across the bridge, Jake felt something unexpected: acceptance. Not from the clan leaders, but from the bridge itself. The energy that had been painful became warm, welcoming. The crystal structure began to pulse with the same rhythm as his heartbeat, as Zareth's heartbeat, as if recognizing the bond between them as something pure and true. When Jake reached the other side, the eldest clan leader stepped forward. Her eyes were ancient and wise, filled with the weight of centuries. "Human Jake Morrison," she said formally, "the Bridge of Truth has spoken. Your heart is true, your intentions pure, your love for our daughter genuine. By the ancient laws and the testament of the sacred bridge, we welcome you into the clan." Kethfer stepped forward, his expression grudging but respectful. "I was wrong to doubt you, human. You have shown strength of a kind we did not expect. Not the strength to conquer, but the strength to understand. To love what is different rather than fear it." Jake felt Zaratha's hand squeeze his, and through their bond, he sensed her joy and pride. Around them, the clan began a ceremonial chant that seemed to make the very air vibrate with celebration. "So, what happens now?" Jake asked as the ceremony concluded. Zarath smiled, her eyes bright with possibility. "Now we explore the universe together. Your human perspective combined with Valiant technology will open new paths, new discoveries, new adventures. We will be pioneers, bridging our two species and showing both that differences can be strengths when combined with love." Jake looked around at his new clan, at the alien world that was now his home, at the woman who had saved his life and captured his heart. He thought of the crashed ship that had brought him here, the accident that had seemed like an ending, but was actually a beginning. Sometimes the greatest adventures began with the most unexpected circumstances. Sometimes love arrived not as a gentle breeze, but as a crashing ship and an alien warrior with healing hands and a fierce heart. And sometimes the best way to find where you belonged was to let yourself fall completely into the unknown. The bond between Jake and Zarath pulsed with warmth and promise as they looked up at the stars together, ready to write the next chapter of their impossible love story across the cosmos.